beauters, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pamela and I put out beauty related videos when I can. So you've already read the title, you know what I'm talking about here, and that is the new KVD Good Apple Concealer. So I was really excited about this because I actually really enjoyed the Good Apple foundation. I do have mine on the face today. I figured I'd pair both of them. They're both supposed to be, you know, a duo, match made in heaven kind of deal. I have mine in the shade medium 033. If you want a full-on dedicated review, I do have a video on this foundation. I am a big fan of it, just like a majority of the internet was when it first came out. As you can see, I have a really nice little deep pan there that it just goes to show that this foundation is really nice, and I personally really enjoy it. So I was excited when they decided to announce the concealer. I thought, you know, these two could pair really well together. Probably make the skin look flawless and gorgeous and just ever so natural, because both of these products do have a natural full coverage type of finish. Now I will say this isn't a first impression. I've actually been using this little guy on and off for about 2 weeks now. I got it, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, and I've just been on and off trying to test it out, see what I feel about it. So I'm not doing a wear test today, just so you know. I'm just doing a full-on review and my opinion on it, because I've got some thoughts and I've got some opinions about it. So I think that's it. That's all the babbling I want to do for this intro, so let's just get right into it. Yes, so this is the concealer in all of its packaging. I'm sure you've seen it. My video is a little bit late to the game because, you know, life. But I have mine in the shade medium 129, and I will say it's a tiny bit too on the deep side for me. However, I like the shade and I like the undertone of it, so I'm not going to exchange it. I'm definitely going to keep it. I feel like once it gets into like the summertime where I get a little bit, you know, more tan, get a little bit more color to the skin, I feel like the match is going to be absolutely perfect. I wish they would have done, which quote me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if they have, but I wish they would have had some sort of like shade finder on the KVD website where whatever foundation shade you are in the Good Apple, they would help you match with like a highlighting shade, kind of like the Rare Beauty, you know, match is. Like, I wish more companies would adopt that because it would be so much easier. I swear, it took me like an hour to figure out what match I was because I purchased mine on Sephora and I struggled. Okay, I really struggled to find a good match, but like I said, I don't mind the match. I have mine again in the shade medium 129, and just so you are aware, it is described as a light to medium skin with warm golden peach undertones. I figured this color would be perfect to cancel out any sort of darkness under the eyes, and I like that. I like the shade. I just think it's a tiny bit too dark for me. I could always mix it with a concealer that's a little bit lighter that could like help, you know, brighten up the under eye a little bit more, but as far as that goes, like, I'm not mad about it. So I already have my base down. Like I said, I put on the Good Apple foundation in the shade 033, and I did do my eyes. I just have the, what do I have on? The Natasha Denona Glam Face and Eye Palette. I love that thing. It lives in my makeup bag because I love it so much. But that's what I've got going on, and then I did my brows, of course, so let's go ahead and zoom you guys in because I remembered to do that this time and put this concealer on the under eyes. Okay, so I've got you zoomed in. I'm gonna go ahead and open this little bad boy up. I will say I love the doe foot applicator. I think this is quite nice. Feels really soft on the under eye. Not that any of my other concealers feel rough, but I just noticed this like extra softness in this doe foot, and on camera it's looking like a really nice shade, but in person it is just a tiny bit too dark for my liking. But you know what, I love the undertone, and I think that in the summer, once I start to tan a little bit more, it's going to be a really good match. I always blend out my concealer with a sponge, so that is what I'm going to do today. I like to start in my chin. This is a really really, really nice feeling concealer. It's super hydrating. It doesn't accentuate any of my fine lines really. I will say that in the description, it does say that it is crease resistant. Doesn't mean that it's crease proof. So I assume that crease resistant technically means that it's just not going to continue to crease any more than it does throughout the day, which is quite nice. Not that I could say it does that, because I have fine lines under my eyes, as you could see, like right around this area. And no matter what I do, whether I prime, smooth that area out, use a creaseless concealer or a crease resistant concealer, whatever the heck it is that you want to call it or you want to say it is, it doesn't happen. I always end up with creasing no matter what. It's just natural. It's normal. It happens. If you have the fine lines, girl, it's gonna settle in those fine lines. That's just the way that it is. I blend out the areas that I wanted to highlight. I then go underneath the eyes, and I'm gonna show you real quick. I probably should have done one eye at a time so that I could really show you. But this is not as full coverage as some of the other concealers that I have in my collection. Like, I mean, it looks really nice, and I love, like I said, this shade, although it's not as brightening as I wanted it to be. I want it to be just like a hairline. I'll get over that. I promise I'll stop talking about that. But you could see right here, there is still a little bit of darkness in that area. It doesn't bother me. Some days I feel like it bothers me a little bit more. I did get a really good amount of sleep last night, so it looks really good compared to like the dark areas over here, but it's not full coverage. Like, I feel like the ABH Magic Touch Concealer has a better like full coverage than this one, and so does my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. With those two concealers, I don't feel like I necessarily have to go in with the second layer. Some days I do. I like to pile on the concealer just to make it look like I have zero darkness under the eyes. But like, usually I can get away with one layer of that concealer. This one, not so much. I feel like this one, I definitely have to do a second layer or a second application of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out. I also did like to let this sit for a minute, but it's not, again, as full coverage as I sure hoped it would be. Considering the foundation is full coverage, like I thought that, you know, being concealer, and concealers tend to have a higher coverage than foundations, I would have gotten way better coverage, but that's just me. Now already you could see it settled into some of my fine lines. Can you see it? I'm sure you could, but it doesn't bother me. Again, nothing, no matter what it claims it does or doesn't do, it's always gonna crease on me. So there is one layer. I feel like the skin looks so beautiful today. I really like the way that that foundation and the concealer match together. They are pretty long wearing. Like I said, I'm not doing a wear test on this one today. I just kind of wanted to show you how it blends out, how it looks on my dry, crusty skin. And I also wanted to compare it to my other concealers, which I'll insert that in a little bit. But I definitely like the way that it looks. It's just not full coverage enough. Like, I definitely think there are more full coverage concealers out there. Okay, so here is a close-up of my skin. Everything looks really good, really smooth, just overall hydrated. Love the way the foundation and the concealer pair together. I really do think that they are a match made in heaven. Hoping that maybe down the line we get a powder foundation from them, because, well, you know how I feel about powder foundation. I love powder foundation. This looks really good. It's smoothing. It looks really good on the under eye. I am seeing very little creasing. The creasing is very minimal. I would say that's what it is. It's not so much crease resistant for me personally. I do have fine lines under the eyes, like I mentioned, but it is definitely minimal creasing. That's the word I feel like they should have used instead of, you know, crease resisting. But it looks really good on the under eyes. When I powder it, my eyes don't look crepey. They don't look older than what I am. For a full coverage concealer, I don't believe it's full coverage. I definitely think you're gonna get like a high medium buildable coverage. Like if you want the full coverage, you'd have to do what I did today and do 2 layers to get this area to look like full coverage, compared to, like I said, my 2 favorite, which are the ABH and the e.l.f. I would say that these 2 are going to give you more coverage than this concealer, but it is really, really nice. The KVD Good Apple one retails for $28, comes in 32 shades, I believe. 32 shades, which in my opinion is pretty good for a concealer. You know, 32 shades is a good range, and it's going to cater to just about everybody, if not everybody. Let me know if you have this concealer, if you tried it, what you think or what your thoughts and opinions are. Totally genuinely curious, so I would love to know what you think about it. What you think? I mean, I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't repurchase it, if you're wondering. I think I'm gonna pass on the repurchase of that one just because, like, I like my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I love the ABH Magic Touch Concealer. Those are my favorites. But this one will do for now. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So, yeah, if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and spread my love for makeup, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay? Okay. Mwah. Bye-bye.